What happens when you unplug for an entire week? 7 days without the internet. No scrolling, no searching, no social media, just 7 days with life as it is. When I started this challenge, I honestly didn't know if I'd make it. I was spending 14 hours a week on my phone alone, 5 hours a day streaming on my television, endless hours, too many hours to think of, on my computer, on my laptop, in the browser, searching and doing different things. I was really connected. But what I experienced during those days of the challenge was so good that it has literally changed my life, and I am not exaggerating. I knew I needed to set myself up for success. If I didn't, I'd probably cave by noon of the first day. So I had moved my entire charging station, which had been by my bed, into a closet. My iPad, my Kindle, my AirPods, my watch, and my extra phone in there where I couldn't see them. And then I moved the charging station for my phone in my bathroom. That meant that I didn't have any of my electronics with me very much. It was surprising to me that the more time went on during the week, the less and less I kept my phone with me. So now the only time the electronics are out of their charging area is when I'm actually using them, and then I put them right back. I realize that I get almost no real calls, calls from real people, with real important things. And if I don't pick up those calls, they leave a message. But all those spam calls and everything, I don't have to worry about them because I'm not there to see that they've come in. I'd already gotten rid of the habit of responding instantly to text messages. It doesn't hurt to wait, and I would do it kind of in batches. It really didn't matter if my phone was with me because I occasionally checked it and I got what I needed. I also bought a simple clock for my nightstand because I knew that one of the key reasons and excuses for keeping my phone by my bed was that I needed to see what time it was. The problem for me is if the phone is there, then I scroll it before I go to bed and I don't get away from the blue light, and the first thing I do is check the time, and then I would start scrolling. So it's really important to me that I get a clock. I also set some rules for the challenge. No streaming TV. If I wanted to watch something, I had to watch one of my DVDs. No social media. No browsing the web for answers. No checking what was happening on my YouTube channel and YouTube Studio. That one was kind of rough. I had gotten so addicted to checking that was one of the things that led me to want to try this 7-day challenge. No Spotify or podcast, but I could use my phone for the banking. I could use it for phone calls and texts. I could read Kindle books on it or my Kindle or my iPad. I used analog planners, journals, books, and other real-life activities as much as I could. The first 2 days, they were hard. I was restless. I was worried. I was concerned that my viewers would get upset that I wasn't instantly answering their comments. I wondered what was going on in the world. My hand in my pocket felt empty, and my purse definitely felt lighter. I hadn't realized how many little gaps in the day I was filling with quick checks, hovering over our YouTube Studio, scrolling videos, waiting for breakfast to cook, sitting down and eating that breakfast, getting tired in the afternoon and turning to streaming on TV to try to make myself feel better, which didn't work. Those little empty spaces of time felt huge, and I felt like I needed to fill every single second of my life. Because I kept my phone in the bathroom so much, I couldn't just reach for it whenever I was bored or there was a little bit of time to fill. And because I couldn't reach for it, I started to break the habit of wanting to reach for it. Even though they were very uncomfortable, those first 2 days taught me something. I hadn't been in control of myself. My devices were in charge of my life. I wanted to get my life back more than ever. By the 3rd day, I started to feel a little bit better. I sat down to eat my breakfast, though, and I was just overwhelmed with the feeling that I needed to scroll something. I decided, no, I'm going to do something better. I opened my Kindle app, and I saw a new book that I had recently downloaded. As I began reading, I experienced light bulb after light bulb after light bulb. I saw that if I followed his recommendations and I believed what he was telling me, it had the potential of completely changing my life. For one thing, I learned that dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical, it is the anticipation chemical. So when you're scrolling, and you know how it is, every once in a while you see something really cool or something you enjoy, and so you're wanting to see more, and so you keep scrolling and going past more and more things that are kind of boring or you don't really like, but you're seeking that next positive hit, the things that you enjoy. This is your dopamine on high gear. You're getting fast dopamine looking for that hit. Well, developers of apps know this. They know that is the anticipation of something that might come, something good that might come, keeps you scrolling. B.F. Skinner learned that when he was testing to see if pigeons would ring a bell if they still got food randomly. He found out that they ring the bell more if it came out randomly, and they became obsessed with ringing the bell. Well, that's what happens to us when we're scrolling. Without realizing it, we become obsessed, and we scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, looking for that next hit that makes you feel good. The book taught me there's another way, and it's called healthy dopamine stimulation. This happens by doing things that require effort, real world effort. So things like cooking an entire meal from scratch, playing a game with a child, going for a walk, learning something new. They don't bring you fireworks in the moment, but they give you something better: resilience, deep motivation, and long-term satisfaction. So I tried it. Every time I felt the urge to get on the internet or scroll, I thought of something else I could do: cleaning, playing with my granddaughter, or returning to practicing the piano again. And it was great. Every time I chose a real-world activity as a substitute, the craving went away. The author taught that whenever you feel that drive to scroll again, that edginess, that's your brain signaling that it's learning to do another thing, that it's considering a different way. That's good. That's part of repairing your brain. That explained to me what I was going through. I wasn't failing when I was feeling that way. I was making progress, especially when I turned to a better slow dopamine stimulation method. Always made me feel better and kind of calm me down. I can feel my brain repairing. I can focus on things that I couldn't before. And I can follow through on things that used to overwhelm me. I just don't feel as scattered as I did. Day 3 wasn't just a turning point in this experiment. Day 3 was a turning point in my entire life. I did make some changes in my program. I started listening to soft music on Spotify again because I realized it's a ton easier than switching out the CDs in my players. But no podcasts, no news. I wanted some peace. By midweek, things really started to change. I didn't want to forget what I was learning, so I got a new notebook from Barnes & Noble and began outlining the book I was reading. My husband and I developed a new bedtime routine. We stopped watching TV at 9 o'clock, and he went off and did his bedtime routine. Instead of watching YouTube for hours like I had been doing, I did things that calmed me down. I made sure my phone was out of the room. I started coloring, and I saw that each day when I completed a new page, I was getting more and more relaxed. I read real books, paper books. I started journaling again. Oh, and I learned a trick. If you find yourself just dying to scroll on your phone, go into the settings and put it on grayscale. It really kills the buzz not to see the colors. As the week wrapped up, I found out I was getting far more energetic. I cleaned out the refrigerator and reorganized it. I read 3 books that week. I cleaned the bread drawer. I started practicing the piano every afternoon. I went to Barnes & Noble, had fun looking around there, and used a gift certificate that had been burning in my wallet. Everything just got brighter. The sounds of the birds outside, the way the light goes across my deck when the sun comes up over the mountains. Even the taste of food is better when I slow down to actually eat it without scrolling on my phone. The noise, this sound, this continual chatter, chatter, chatter in my brain quieted down. I realized that I was putting that sound, chatter, chatter in my brain with all the digital things I was doing all day long. And I realized I don't need the internet or streaming or my phone to entertain me. My deepest connections are right here with myself, with my family, and with God. It's been more than 2 weeks since the challenge ended, and here's where I am now. I'm still charging the phone in the bathroom and everything else in the closet, and I'm still just bringing them out when I actually use them. I did find out the last couple of days that I was using the phone more when I was sitting here, and last night I went, whoa, I don't want to do that. So I put it back in. I deleted the app I had started to look at again because it was already cluttering me up, and I really prefer how it feels when I'm clear. I use digital media. I do access the internet and know what's going on. I watch some YouTube videos, but it's in a controlled way. Okay, I'm going to watch them for this long, then I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to do this activity, and then I'm going to get off. I'm just not so darn addicted. I'm just more in control of what I'm doing now. I asked my husband the other day if I seem different since I did this, and he went, oh yeah, much different. You're just like living life. I've even started to cook meals again, and if you've been watching my channel, you know that's huge. My internet usage has dropped about 80%. My phone entertainment use has dropped about 77%. And I would say that my television time is down around 65 to 75%. I just don't go plop in my chair in the middle of the afternoon and then binge the rest of the night and sometimes way too late. I just don't do that. This is a big change for me. I just don't feel rushed anymore. My thoughts are clearer, it's easier for me to plan, and I feel like my smarts are coming back. I know not everyone can get off of the internet for 7 days, but there are things you can do. Even 1 or 2 days or evenings without the internet can kind of break things up. If you want to make a bigger impact, though, try to stretch that out and just see what happens. Just know it takes time to adjust. I would say the first 2 or 3 days are the worst. And the key things are, don't charge your devices in your bedroom. Come up with some activities you can do when you feel the urge to scroll. And give yourself permission to feel bored. You're not failing anything when you're bored. It's actually really good for you. Did you know that when you're bored, that's when your brain is processing, figuring things out, and that's when it gets creative. If you're not letting yourself be bored, your brain doesn't have the ability to do all of that. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about finding a richer, happier, calmer way to live. At the end of the 7 days, I didn't just have less internet in my life. I had more presence, more joy, more music, more fun. And now, more than 2 weeks later, I realized this wasn't just a challenge. It's a new way of life. The best connections, they're not online. They're right here, right now. You just got to put your phone down.